begin.
I am a genius. Let's begin.
Let's begin.
When we're little, we know what we want. The people that come to this room that we're in right now know what they want. They know what they want to do, they know what they want to have, and they know what they want to be. How many people have kids? Okay, so you're probably familiar with the conversation that goes, Mommy or Daddy, I want a cookie. No. Mommy, I want the cookie. No, you can't have the cookie. Mommy, I want the cookie. Okay, just don't tell Daddy. Something happens between the time that we're little and we know what we want to do, be, and have, and the time that we start to get physically bigger in our body. And our parents sit us down and they say, you know that thing you wanted to do, be, and have? I don't know. You know, everyone's a farmer in our family. Do you really think you want to go start your own business in the big city? I don't know. We hear things on the radio that try to talk us out of this thing that we know we want to do, be, and have. Uncle Jimmy comes over for Christmas and he says, you know, your mom told me you were thinking about doing this thing called start your own business. I don't know. You know, it's pretty scary. So we get talked out of what it is we know we want to do, be, and have. And then we get even bigger. And we are now doing what we think we should do and no longer what we want to do. We were little, we did what we wanted to do. We knew what we wanted to do. And then we got bigger and something happened. So what happened? There are a few people in the world that do it a little differently. You guys, you're doing it a little differently, right? You remember, I think entrepreneurs are those people who remember that conversation when you're little inside. It says, I know what I want to do, be, and have. And so they step out and they start to do this thing that they want to do, be, and have. Then reality sets in, right? Like, seriously, you're going to do that thing? Really? Who do you think you are? Mom's voice comes back in your head. Who do you think you are? Start a business. Where are you going to get the money? Somebody's already taken that idea. What are you going to do? And you start to second guess what you're doing. So entrepreneurs need to get clear on something because we've stepped out, we're starting to take action, things are getting a little scary, we need to know what we're doing. So if this is you, you can relate. This was me when I started my own business. I could relate to that. I needed some guidance system. So what are we getting clear on? Okay, we're getting clear on your purpose, on your vision, and on your goals. Purpose is why you're doing what you love when you're doing your purpose. It's what gets you to jump out of bed in the morning. That, you know, if you could do that thing that you didn't get paid for, that would be your purpose. Your vision is how you see yourself doing that purpose. What is the mind movie that's playing in your head, right? And the goals are the daily action steps that we take to complete that vision and purpose. So your purpose, vision, and goals are really important because they are the groundwork from which you're going to grow this thing that you're doing called a new business, right? So if you're not clear on that, you're unstable. Just like a tree, if it's planted and the root system isn't good, it's not going to sustain itself. Something needs to be grounded, the root system needs to be good, and from that place you can grow. Okay, this gentleman, Drew, I think he's always known his purpose. He knew his purpose was to serve people in a way that educated them, that taught them. And the way that he did this, his vision was to play baseball. And so that's what he was doing. And then something happened, and he had not articulated that purpose to himself. And so something happened, and it took him in a different direction. And he felt a little unstable. But we worked together, and he figured out what that purpose was, and he was able to articulate it in a way that was now fitting that purpose for him. He's sitting over there, by the way. Okay, so your purpose is doing what you love to do. I'm going to assume since you're sitting here, you're in alignment with doing what you love to do, right? It's a thing that you're going to jump out of bed in the morning to do. But is it in writing? Okay. You have to put it in writing. Because the things that happen in our head seem so great, but it's almost like we speak English in our head, and then when we try to get it out on the paper, we're trying to translate it into French. And it doesn't always make sense. So it's really important that you put that purpose in writing. This is another friend and a former client. And she had a vision. She's a holistic lifestyle coach. She loves riding bikes. She knows a tremendous amount of information. She has catalogs of information up here. But her vision of what she wanted to do with that information wasn't actually happening in real life. So there was this huge gap between what she knew and what she was doing. So we worked together to articulate, what is that mind movie playing in your head? What are you doing? What is that vision? So she got very, very clear on that, and this process of writing it down and going back, well, what am I doing in my head? You know, because we're all doing something in our head. What are you doing? What mind movie are you playing? So in the process of doing that, she got very clear on what that vision was. And so she was able to close that knowing doing gap. And now she does a lot more of what she actually saw herself doing in her head. If this is your business vision, you got to clear it up. Because if this is what's happening, the stability of your business is not going to be there. If you're not clear on what you're doing, no one else is going to be clear on what you're doing. You've got to put it in writing. What do you see yourself doing? This was another client that I worked with, and he had a challenge with goals. He was setting his goals based on something that, the way he was coached on looking at goals. Let's look at goals. So, what kind of goals are you setting for yourself in your business? Okay. When I learned this, totally changed my perspective on goals. Goals are for growth. They're not for getting. Okay. He was setting goals based on getting something. I'm going to sit down with you. We're going to do business. I want to get something. Okay. So he was doing this the way that wasn't serving anybody. When you look at getting something, you're looking outside of yourself. When you're looking at goals for growth, that's something internally. And you're going to keep going if you're doing something for you in the process. Different kind of goals. Okay. A-type goals. I just got a new minivan. I already know how to lease a minivan for 3 years. That's an A-type goal. I totally stepped sideways. There's no growth in that. I already know how to do that. B-type goals. You think you can do it. You plan a little bit. Kind of step out and take action, but your mom called and she said, what are you doing? You hung up and you didn't do it anymore. There's a little bit of growth, but the fear sets in. With the A-type goals, or with the C-type goals, this is a goal that you have no idea how you're going to accomplish. It's also where the terror barrier exists. That's when you step out and take that C-type goal, you have no idea how you're going to get there. And of course your neighbor calls and she says, what? You've got no idea? What are you doing? You're going to ruin the whole family. So this guy has got a C-type goal, right? He's looking up the mountain. You're looking at that business that you're setting up. You have no idea how you're going to get there. But you're not going to tell this guy not to go because he's prepared. He's got his stuff, right? He's planned. How do you get there? How do you get up that mountain of ice? You put the pick here, and you look and you scan. You go, where do I go now? Then you put the pick here, and you scan and you go, where do I go now? Then you put your cramp on it. And eventually, you make it up that sheet of ice, right? You had no idea how you were going to get there when you started. This is the same thing with business. It's the same thing. If this is you, if you're kind of peering out on this thing called entrepreneurship, but you're sort of standing back and you're not clear on what your purpose, your vision, and your goals are, you're going to have a hard time getting it to come to fruition. When you are clear on your purpose, on your vision, and on your goals, you're going to feel like this. Not only are you going to feel like this, but that's going to be the expression of your business. commend you for coming to the JCC and asking for help, because I guarantee you there are going to be obstacles. Why are there obstacles? It's for your growth. It's not for getting, it's for your growth. Anticipate the obstacles, they're going to be there. But if it is a C-type goal, if your purpose is in alignment with your vision and your goals, you're going to call on something internally to get to that end result. It's the only way you're going to get there. The people that fail are not in alignment. They're not doing what they really love to do, because they stop at the first obstacle, usually. Things get tough, they stop. Okay, so I provided an article on vision, purpose, and goals. And it's a really good article, so I would sit down when you have a chance at home in a quiet space, read that article and get very clear on what's your purpose, what's your vision, what's your goals, and put them in writing. And then there's also an accountability agreement. Accountability is crucial, because if this is a C-type goal for you, you're going to step out to take action, and you're going to freak out. Okay? And you're going to go back to that place of safety, because it feels good. Okay? But you want to be accountable to self. You want to be accountable to somebody else, because accountability is what closes the gap between intention and results. Okay? So you want to get accountable. If this is really what you want to do, it's going to get bumpy, it's going to get scary. And that's me.
Can you tell us 5 minutes about yourself too? And it would be awesome. You have 5 minutes, so you're good.
So I used to teach in Chicago, and then I had my kids, went up to the suburbs, and got a holistic lifestyle coaching degree when they were little, because they were not as healthy as I anticipated, and I needed to help that change. So I went and got a holistic lifestyle coaching degree. We implemented what I was learning, and we got better. And at the point where I was going to launch an HLC practice, I was introduced to Bob Proctor. And because I used to teach, I just knew intimately the value of this. And so I didn't even know who the guy was. And so a year and a half later, I know I worked with him personally because I saw the benefit. But I had to go through all this stuff that I'm teaching you. It's the same stuff that I had to go through. You've got to know your purpose. You've got to know your vision. You've got to know your goals. You're going to freak out. It's going to get tough. But if you really, really want it, you can have it. You can have anything you want. That's the cool thing.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's excellent. Thank you.